Imagine stepping into a completely different world. A world where you're not just watching events unfold, but living in them. You could be climbing a mountain, walking through ancient ruins, or even standing on Mars. This isn't science fiction. This is virtual reality, or VR, a technology that is changing how we interact with the digital world and will reshape our future in ways we've only begun to imagine. Today, we'll dive into what virtual reality really is, how it works, and more importantly, how VR is set to revolutionize industries and change the way we live, work, and play. Let's get started. Part 1, what is VR? So what exactly is virtual reality? At its core, virtual reality is a simulated environment that you can experience as though you're physically there. Unlike looking at a screen in front of you, VR immerses you in a three-dimensional world where you can interact with the environment. This is done using VR headsets, which track your head movements and adjust the virtual environment accordingly, making the experience feel incredibly real. When you put on a VR headset like the Oculus Quest or PlayStation VR, you're no longer in your living room. You're transported to a whole new world. Through the combination of visuals, sound, and sometimes even touch, VR tricks your brain into thinking you're somewhere else entirely. Part 3. Real-life applications of VR. Now that we know what VR is and how it works, let's look at some real-life applications. Gaming. The most obvious example of VR is gaming. Imagine playing a game where you're not just pressing buttons but physically inside the game world. You could be driving a race car, battling enemies, or even exploring fantasy lands, fully immersed in the action. VR gaming takes the experience to a whole new level. But it's not just about fun and games. VR is also transforming education. Picture a biology student exploring the human body from the inside, or a history class where students can walk through ancient civilizations. VR allows learning to become more interactive and engaging, making it easier to understand complex topics. In healthcare, VR is being used for therapy and training. Doctors are using VR to simulate surgeries before performing them on real patients. It's also helping with mental health treatments by allowing patients to confront and manage their fears in a controlled virtual environment. Travel and tourism. And what if you could explore the world without ever leaving your home? With VR, you can take virtual vacations, visiting famous landmarks like the Eiffel Tower or the Great Wall of China. It's an amazing way to explore places that you may never have the chance to visit in real life. Part 4. The future of VR. Now, let's talk about the future of virtual reality. Right now, VR is in its early stages. The technology is already impressive, but what's coming next is even more exciting. In the near future, we could see VR being used in ways that will completely change how we live. Social interaction. Imagine instead of video calls, you meet your friends in a virtual cafe or attend a concert with people from all over the world. Virtual spaces for social interaction are already being developed, and this could change the way we communicate and build relationships. In the workplace, VR could make remote work feel like you're right there in the office. Teams could collaborate in virtual workspaces, making presentations, brainstorming, and working together just as they would in person. This could be a game changer for remote jobs. How about shopping in virtual stores? Instead of scrolling through images online, you could walk through a virtual store, pick up products, and see them up close before making a purchase. Companies are already experimenting with this, and it could be the future of retail. And then, there's the possibility of full immersion, where the lines between virtual and real life blur. With advancements in haptic feedback, it's possible that one day, you could not only see and hear, but also feel the virtual world. This would make the experience even more lifelike. As we can see, virtual reality is much more than a gaming tool. It's a technology that has the potential to impact nearly every aspect of our lives, from how we learn, work, and travel to how we connect with others. And while we're just scratching the surface of what VR can do, the future looks incredibly exciting. As VR technology continues to evolve, it's going to open up new possibilities that we can't even imagine yet. But one thing is clear, virtual reality is here to stay, and it's going to play a big role in shaping the future. Thanks for watching this video on what is virtual reality and how it will shape our future. If you enjoyed this deep dive into VR, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more insightful videos. This is InfuseSmart, and I'll see you in the next one.